Welcome, Level 9s. This is a very quick lesson on how to write an introduction. I'm assuming that by this stage you have already been taught how to write an introduction, but will serve as a great little review for you. Okay, so I have this posted on our site. It's called Sample Introduction, and it is a very short one, but I want to go through the different types of things each introduction should have. The first part in blue is called the hook. If you said hook, you are correct. The part in black here is called the background, and the writing in orange at the bottom is the thesis sentence. This order never changes. You always start with the hook, then you move on to your background information, just setting up the ideas coming in the essay, and then you follow it with your thesis sentence. All right. I've made another video about how to write a good hook, but I'm giving you an example here. Let's read this one together. The Covent Garden Market, downtown London, Ontario, is one of the most popular meeting hubs for people working and living in the city and produce growers from surrounding rural areas. At this market, 90% of all produce comes from farms within a 100-kilometer radius to London City. This is a direct quotation, therefore I'm putting an in-text citation. You can do that right in the hook, okay? Or in fact, any information in your introduction, you can put a citation. This one was from a fact sheet, okay? And so I put that in quotation marks because that's the name of the sheet, of the document, comma, CBC, and the date. All right, so this hook is I guess you could call it a shocking statistic. I don't know how shocked you are, but it gives some information that hopefully people don't know. The most important thing to remember about a hook, and you can again watch my other video, is don't make it something obvious. Don't make it something everybody already knows. Your whole idea is to try and pull the reader in, okay? The next part is the background information, okay? This is probably not as long as you should be doing for your essay, all right? It should probably be a few more sentences, but you can get the idea of what I'm writing about here. Okay, so they introduced the Covent Garden Market. It gave us a statistic about farms and a market in the city. And then it says, in fact, so this is exemplifying information, there are several other markets that Londoners can enjoy, such as the Western Fair Market or the Masonville Mall Market, as an alternative to large chain grocery stores, which often ship food from faraway cities or even countries. Increasingly, nice transition there, consumers are more interested in fresh, local grown food by people that could be their neighbors. All right, so by now, when you're reading the introduction, you should have an idea what the essay is about, okay? I'm guessing this essay is something to do about farmers markets, maybe compared to grocery stores. I'm not sure if there's going to be a comparison yet or not, but it does seem to be talking about farmers and people and food, farmers markets. So let's see. I don't know what my thesis is yet, and notice that there's no real details about anything that I'm writing about yet. Make sure you save the good stuff for the body paragraphs, okay? Don't put any details that you already have in your introduction. This is the part where you're introducing the topic as a general idea, okay? Giving some background information. For example, maybe people don't even know what a farmer's market is, but I think after reading this, now they kind of have an idea, all right? Okay, so here's our thesis. Notice it is just one sentence. Sometimes people have a two-sentence thesis, but I think for our purpose, you can definitely fit what you need to say into one sentence, okay? It can be a compound, complex sentence. You know how to do that. All right, so here we go. The prevalence of farmers markets in cities has been increasing over the past decade, and growers, individuals and communities, should be communities, have been benefiting from this growing trend in cities. Okay, so can you identify where the topic of the essay is? Farmers markets in cities. It's in bright yellow for you. So farmers markets in cities is my main general topic, okay? Have been benefiting from, this is the cause-effect language. So here is my focus, all right? It's basically about the benefits or the effects of farmers markets in cities, all right? So what are those benefits or effects? Well, right here I have my 3 predictors: growers, individuals, and communities, all right? You know what, why don't I just fix that right now, because that's really bothering me. Okay, so topic, focus, predictors. We went over this, how to write a thesis sentence, so I'm not going to delve too much into it, but what I'd like to ask you right now is, what is the first paragraph going to be about? Okay, if you said it's going to be about how growers, the effect on growers of farmers markets in cities, you're correct, okay? Note that this is quite a short introduction. Yours might be a little bit longer. In fact, I do expect it to be a little longer. And in 1 minute, I'm going to show you a student sample, okay? Can you guess what the research question for this essay was? Well, I think if you said, what are the effects of farmers markets on cities, then you're correct. Okay, so this is posted with annotations, as you can see over on the side. That's my husband's name, not mine. But anyway, this is posted for you on your page, so you can look at it a little bit better there. Okay, let's not save that. So now what I have here is the student sample essay. Okay, so up above here is their title page. This is the first page of their essay here. Notice that there's a number 2 in the corner. I want you to notice that the font here is in 12 font. You can see up here. It's in Times New Roman. You can also use Calibri. You could use Arial. There are a couple more fonts you could use, but basically, if you look at your APA format, you're fine. But you know what? Times New Roman and Arial and Calibri, always safe. All right, so 12 font. I have my nice title here, Alternative Medicines. How effective are they? You'll notice here, the font ends. It's not a straight line, okay? I want to just show you how to do this. See up here, if it looks like this, you might think, oh, this looks very professional. It looks wonderful. Yes, perhaps. However, that's not APA standard. We like to do this called left justify, okay? So make sure that your essay looks like this. Now, let's get into the introduction, because that's why we're here. What are we starting out with? Our hook. I'm going to highlight this hook here in, oops, that's not what I meant to do. I want to highlight it in I'll put this part in blue, okay? So we can see it nice and clearly. That's our hook, okay? You can start right out, as this student did, with quotation marks right away, directly into the quote. Although it's probably better if you integrate it, okay? So you could say, get rid of this, and you could say, according to a Fraser Institute survey, comma, and then right here, you could start with your quotation marks, okay? So I would probably do that. Or as stated in a 2016 Fraser Institute survey, go backspace, here we go. Nearly 80% of Canadians, they give the nice quote. Notice here, there's no comma. Start brackets, last name, comma, year. All right. And I bet you if I checked in the reference page, I would just look for L and I would find it. Okay. So here's my interesting statistic. And let's look at the background. Alternative and complementary medicine includes medical practices. So, okay, here she gave a little definition. She talks about the figures showing that it's a big business nowadays, that the wide distribution of this market is in not only in Canada, but around the world. So she's giving a little bit of a world view, so we have a better idea of where we're talking about, okay? It talks about who uses this kind of medicine, consumers, but it also gains more popularity in the public health systems, okay? Then she starts talking about availability of information about the positive effects and their growing popularity. Where is it practiced? Medical schools, nursing schools, etc., etc. Now, I know that this line here is paraphrased from the Institute of Medicine in the US Committee, 2005. This source is getting a little bit old, but it's probably okay. And then here we go to the thesis sentence. Now, I think we've looked at this in our other podcast, but anyway, it's saying all of these facts indicate the growing popularity of non-conventional healing techniques. Okay, so we know this is our topic. Here we go. Alternative therapies such as acupuncture, homeopathy, and yoga. So alternative therapies is our topic. Acupuncture, homeopathy, and yoga are our predictors. Can be effective for health, okay? So we've got the effectiveness, which is the focus. And then here, it's still the same sentence. She goes on about the efficacy depending on a specialist experience. So it's not saying that they're 100% effective or not. It's not giving any great details. It's just giving us the idea that some of these alternative therapies are more effective than others, okay? So this is about the length of your introduction. Always start with an interesting hook, give plenty of background information, cite where necessary, and then end with your thesis sentence. I'm going to change this to black because basically it's still leading. This is the sentence transitioning from the background right into your thesis. Okay, so who's going to guess what is the first paragraph going to be about? Well, if you said it's going to be something about acupuncture, you're right. Let's look at the first topic sentence. One of the non-traditional practices is acupuncture, which can be used not only to treat insomnia, but also allergic diseases. Okay, so that's it for my beautiful introduction video. I hope you have good luck and be sure to make it interesting. Have fun. Bye-bye.